Hi guys. So today I want to talk about conspiracy theories. This is something that comes up a lot in my books, and it wasn't something I intended on doing. It wasn't like I had some deep plan of action. It was just something that kind of came up. And the reason why is I like writing about different things that make readers think. So I want you to put the book down when you're finished and be still thinking about it. I want you to be wondering about it. I want you to be thinking about specific things in the book. Could that happen? Does that happen? I have things like, for example, my characters talk about and are involved in situations where somebody commits suicide. But was it a suicide? Or has an accidental death? But was it accidental? And these things, I think we've all kind of wondered. We've seen situations, especially celebrities and television and the news. You're like, I don't know, that sounds a little suspicious. But then, the police said, so it must be okay. But the thing is with the police, and is an example with this. Basically, I think they kind of look to check off all the boxes, and if all the boxes check off as a suicide, it's a suicide. And I remember seeing a situation once a few years ago, and this is kind of where it got me thinking. Um, I won't get into the details. This was maybe 10 years ago, and this happened in the U.S. A woman had died. There was a lot of speculation, but all the boxes were checked off suicide, but people were a little suspicious. Like, something not quite fitting together, and she was kind of inconvenient to certain people. Does it happen? Does it happen? And maybe not. It probably does, though. And that's one conspiracy theory that I kind of bring up in my writing. There's many political ones I won't get into. There's a few coming up in my next book, which I'm only about 6 chapters in. That'll be my 12th book. And already I have a few things going on that are conspiracy theories. But what do you think? I mean, do people like that? And, it's not even a situation, again, where I'm trying to change anyone's mind or anything. I like people thinking outside the box. I think so often we're conditioned to believe this is the way it is, and that's it. And sometimes it's nice to kind of step away from that and say, is that the way this is? And I've talked about before, even about, regarding the good guy versus the bad guy. And, we're always kind of conditioned to that as well. I remember being brought up thinking, this is the good guy and this is the bad guy. The good guy takes the bad guy down. Everyone lives happily ever after, and that's it. But is that always the case? And is that good guy really such a good guy? And is that bad guy really such a bad guy? Sometimes the lines are pretty blurred and it's inconvenient for people, so they don't want to think about it. Sometimes they're not, but sometimes they are. And unfortunately, that happens in a lot of things. So the point is, I bring it up in my writing a lot. So if you're into this kind of thing and you like thinking about subjects and kind of hearing different points of view, you enjoy my books, because I have a lot of that. And it just seems to be more and more. I have one coming up in my next book. I won't tell a lot about it, but it has to do with Airbnb, which is huge right now. Conspiracy theory regarding not the company, nothing bad against the company, and I really don't have a bad impression of the company, but sort of an underground thing that's taking place in these little, I was gonna say, places. I guess people's homes. That they are unaware of in the book. Now, and this is such a small part of my book, by the way. This isn't like someone's like, oh, she gave her plot away. Well, no, it's just a really small part. It's just something kind of mentioned casually in a conversation. A lot of these conspiracy theories that I bring up are brought up by my characters in a very casual conversation. It's not like the plot of the story. It's just kind of brought up, and everybody accepts it and goes on to the next thing as if they just were talking about the weather. It's raining outside, and by the way, did you know the government's doing this on people's backs? It's very casual, but I think that's good. I think people like that. I think it's just kind of, Yeah, it's kind of cool. Anyway, what do you think of conspiracy theories? Do you like reading books and watching movies with conspiracy theories? Do you like you like me? Do you like listening to podcasts and watching shows where they kind of discuss these things and kind of look at a different side of what the public's kind of, I like to say, force fed by the media? um, do you like that? Do you like kind of thinking about, I wonder if this is different than I originally thought? I do like that. Do you like that in your books? Do you like that in movies, your TV shows, having kind of that food for thought? I'm just curious. Let me know. Oh, subscribed, like, all that good stuff. It's somewhere down here. Do that. Thank you guys. Have a great day.